What's the best way to pet a cat?
The best way to pet a cat. That's a good question. I like this question because just yesterday I was walking my dog and I see a cat in a bush and I want to pet the cat. I'm like a kid inside. I want to pet the cat, but I don't want to scare the cat. I have my dog with me. So I know that it's like tricky how to approach this cat. So I let my dog, it doesn't really care. My dog is used to cats. So the dog kind of goes in the opposite direction to sniff a tree or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I just slowly reach my hand out to the cat, like literally like they tell you, reach your hand out, back of your hand, let them sniff your fingers. And that's what I did. And the cat, sure enough, like was hesitant at first. And I just didn't make any quick movements. And then the kitty was in the bush and literally stuck its head out to sniff my hand and then let me pet it. And then I just walked away. And that was it. That was the whole interaction. I got what I wanted out of it. I wanted to meet the kitty because I'm sure I'm going to see this cat again. It's in my rotation. It's in your
sphere, yeah.
It's in my dog's laps, the walking laps. So I'm like, I'll see this cat again. So I want the kitty to know that my dog is cool and that I'm cool and that we could be friends. Because that's how my mind works when it comes to all animals, but cats in particular. I think most of the time a cat outside probably isn't going to let you approach it if you're moving too fast or if you're being too loud. But if it's used to people and people feeding it, then that cat will probably, if you have the right speed and the right energy, probably let you come at least a little bit close to see if you have any food. And if you don't, maybe that will be the end of the interaction. But with cats, I would say just generally, or is the question with cats, right?
What's the best way to pet a cat is the exact question.
Cats. Yeah. Slowly, just move very slowly. And if any signs of aggression, don't try to pet that cat. Yeah. It's just like with any other animal. Like if it doesn't want you to pet it, it's going to show you by not coming to you. You shouldn't be reaching at animals. You shouldn't reach over their heads. Cats don't, if they can't see you, that's not a good thing. They're going to be scared.
And cats, speaking of sight, don't they have isn't their far away vision better than their close up vision?
I don't know.
Because they're predators. Like they can see prey a little bit further away, but like up close, they don't have the greatest vision.
I don't know, because they can get
I stumped mice. The teacher. Is that what I did?
Well, they can get mice.
They can
those are pretty small
and
they're pretty close to them. I've seen my cat catch bugs and stuff. So I mean,
my cat can catch bugs for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, they got to be able to see far and near. I don't know which one is better. I know they have pretty good night vision. But with petting the cats, I'd say in general, slowly. And if they show any signs of aggression, hissing, or their hair stands up, or if they're just backing away from you,
the pine cone tail.
Yeah, there you go. The tail fluffs up. They try to get bigger. They arch their back. Any of that Halloween cat stance, don't pet them.
What do you think? I think it's interesting that this is the question. What's the best way to pet a cat? Because the thing about cats is, so I'm a cat owner of 3 years. 3 years? 4 years? Anyways, I'm losing track of time. I mean, it's COVID time, right? Everything's weird now.
What's time?
When I was growing up, we were dog owners pretty much my whole childhood. Mm-hmm. And so I thought I was a dog person. Turns out I'm a both person. And both person is the best way to be, by the way. Unless you have a terrible allergy, be a both person, because they're both, I mean, I think you can agree, they're both incredible animals and incredible animal species with so much to offer. And they are truly different. It is really Garfield and Odie. Like they are very different from one another.
Very different.
And the whole cats are smart and dogs are dumb. Not quite. There are intelligent dogs and dumb cats, but cats have a reputation of being standoffish. Cats have a reputation of you need to earn their love, and dogs have a reputation where it's like easy to meet a stranger dog. And I don't think this reputation it's like any stereotype. It's not exactly fair. It can summarize things up quickly, but I think there's so much nuance. And now that I've owned two cats, they really do warm up to you, and you can meet a stranger cat if you've got the good technique. You talked about this technique, and for those of you that are listening to the podcast, you're missing out on this. So I've got a technique where my hand, you can see my fingernails up and it's kind of cupped. When I offer it to a dog, to a cat, heck, I did this to a horse, and it's just, I was taught this because it shows that even if you're not holding food, they know what's inside your hand. And so I've heard that this is good. This is the one that you showed me a second ago, which is like your fingernails are pointing down and your hand is limp. And this is pretty good, but I heard that this one's even less threatening. But at that point, if you show a limp hand, you're not showing a fist, you're not showing a flat hand that can smack. You're showing that you are docile. And I think
the whole thing is that you're just letting them smell your hand, back of your hand, front of your hand, your fingertips. Like, to me, they're just smelling your fingers.
It's a smell
your
thing.
Fingers, they smell like you. They smell if you have food. They smell like where you've been. Like, they smell each other's butts. They're smelling our hands. Our fingers are our butts.
No, exactly. The butt that made me think of the butts thing. Like, it really makes sense. Wow. I thought it was more that they were worried you were going to smack them and hit them or something like that.
I mean, I'm sure that's for some animals that maybe have been traumatized or have been hit, that's something. But I don't think that's the majority of animals out there. I don't think the majority of animals you come across are getting beat by people. I think that's probably more rare.
Yeah. I mean, I think you get that in adoption circles. Sometimes you get like a traumatized dog. So my brother and his wife have a greyhound from the track. They rescued their greyhound from the track. A greyhound was in in that sport properly, has papers, has a pedigree, all that stuff, raced. They have the racing record and everything. And that dog's a bit traumatized, quite skittish, And it's interesting. I met the dog the dog's Minnie over Christmas break. And my brother was telling me, and his wife was telling me that Minnie made true strides, socializing, because she was like really standoffish with so many people, including my parents, including people she'd met multiple times. And talk about not a cat, but you have to give like cat-like patience.
Yeah.
Day after day after day of getting them used to you until Minnie warmed up to us. And it was interesting as far as petting. A lot of people, when a dog is lying down on their bed, a lot of people will reach their hand towards the dog without thinking twice. Mm-hmm. And they had to tell me, no, this bed is basically a cage in Minnie's mind. And the cage is it's like a force field. Don't you dare put your hand in there unless you want your hand to get bitten off. And that's not our dog's fault. I mean, that's exaggerating, but you see what I'm saying?
I get what you mean, yeah. That's their territory.
That's their territory. So I think when we pet, in my experience as a layperson, man, whenever I meet a strange pet, first of all, I don't reach my hand first thing. I try to look at them, try to pick up on their vibe. And if they seem to be kind of acceptable to it, it's that limp hand. And if they sniff it real quick and nothing else, cool. And if you get some pets out of it, cool. Well, the problem is I think there's a lot of people out there that are greedy, man.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I think. That people, first of all, it is an energy thing. Like you're saying, you're approaching the animal, and in that initial approach, you're already judging. Is this cat want me to pet it? Is this cat afraid of me? Is this cat angry? Is this cat hurt, injured, sick? All these things matter. And then as soon as you get that initial, okay, this cat seems all right with me being near it, then you get a little closer slowly. And then maybe you reach your hand out and let them sniff your hand. But these little steps to it are what smart people do, or people that have animal experience. When you meet the people that are just, no experience or overconfident, or just think every cat is like their cat or other cats that they've met, then they just reach at them or just grab at them, whether they're sleeping in their den or sleeping on a bed or in a bush or on the curb. And I tell everybody, if you don't know the animal and it doesn't come to you, don't try to touch it, because you never know. You think that you've seen it all. You haven't. I probably have. And what I like at work, I work with all cats, and people get scratched or bit, and I don't. And I tell them, because I treat them all the same, that they're highly, highly capable of hurting you quickly without you having any warning. That the cat is harder to read than a dog. It is harder to read than a dog, and that they're faster. The cats are faster than the dog, and the cats are more flexible and nimble than the dog. So it's a different type of respect, but it's equal respect. This is a different type of respect. I treat all dogs the same, all cats the same, horses, pigs, cows, chickens, fish. It doesn't matter the animal. Like you really don't know how they're going to react to what you're doing to them. Because most of the time in my situation, it's not my cat, it's somebody else's cat. And the environment that they're in is strange. So they're never going to act normally. They're never going to behave like you predict they're going to behave. The environment is completely strange to them. I'm completely strange to them. What I'm trying to do to them in the veterinary clinic is very strange to them. So all that changes how I'm going to approach them. But to answer the question, how should you approach a pet? I do believe it takes the right kind of energy for a cat too. And then the whole direct answer to the question, like petting them across their back all the way to their tail. Of course they like that. They like scratches. I think cats like under the chin and around the head.
The cheeks.
Yeah, they like all that too because they have sharp nails. It's hard for them to scratch themselves without hurting themselves.
Yeah.
So we can do it for them. And the same
they use
thing
that back foot like a dog, but it's they miss spots.
Dogs too. That's why dogs like when you scratch behind their ears and on their faces because they can't really do it themselves without hurting themselves. Yeah. So, but we can do it for them. And then the belly and the chest area, they can't reach it. Cats and dogs, they can't reach this spot.
That's why they love that. The sternum. That's why they love that. You
scratch that a lot. And under the chin and cheek, like it's really hard for them to get to these spots. Yeah. So they like that. Then the cats on their back of their tail, on their butts, you stimulate that area on female cats, especially, and they'll like arch their back. That feels really good for them too, and the whole across the tail thing. That's, because they have a lot
I go
of
all the way down the back and then I like pull up on the table gently, but you pull on the table a little bit, like with a hand around the tail, and then just make sure you finish the motion. Don't hang out on the tail, but this makes her really happy. Yeah.
I think people don't know cats have scent glands all along their body, and that's why they rub against stuff. They rub against everything so they can make it smell like them, and it's on their face.
I knew that it was making them. I didn't know it was because of glands. That makes sense.
They have scent glands. Sense. A lot of them on their faces. That's why they're their face, and then along the sides of their body and on their tail and on their butts.
I stink like my cat, and I don't even realize it. I mean, of course.
And if you don't, she's going to come rub herself on you until
to make sure I do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And that's why they rub themselves on everything. Anything
on your legs, on your
bring something new around your cat. She's gonna start rubbing herself on it because she wants things to smell like her. Just like the dogs when they do this thing on the bed, they paw at it and they're like digging at the bed.
Yeah.
Just because they want it to smell like their feet.
Yeah.
And they put their scent on it. They have a lot of scent glands on their paw pads too.
Interesting. They do it on all the trees and like a wooden post and stuff like that outside too.
Everything.
They definitely
cats,
this is my territory.
That's why you pet cats like that. Yes.
Cool. I didn't know that. Interesting.